The personal development industry is a multi-billion dollar industry filled with several people that kind of get stuck in there where they just want to keep on bettering themselves, continue learning, and that's all they kind of pursue, where they go out, see these people speak, buy their books, buy their merch, and it's just nonstop where these people can get trapped and they just want to consume personal development content, whether it be YouTube videos, read or listen to books, and it's just nonstop want to learn. And there's one main issue with this where you're constantly learning, and there's nothing wrong with that, where you're trying to better yourself and you're trying to learn more and become a better version of yourself yesterday. And that's kind of a big thing that I try and do with myself, where I always try to be a better version of myself today than I was yesterday. But there's nothing wrong with wanting to learn more and get better every single day. But there's one thing that we often fail to do, and that's actually to take action, to put everything that we've learned, we've been taught, or these motivational speeches that tell us to go out there and do it. We don't actually put that in action. We just kind of get stuck in this cycle where we just constantly want to learn more and try and better ourselves. But then there's that small piece where you take all that information that you have learned and received over the years and actually put that into action and show what you've actually learned over those years. And that's one big piece that often gets left out. When I was growing up, the personal development industry never really crossed my mind, and I was really lazy growing up. I just played a bunch of video games, watched a lot of TV, and until I started working out and went away to college and was on my own, I never really crossed the personal development industry. And then once I did, it kind of became an addiction. I always wanted to go to the gym to better myself physically. I wanted to eat better food so I could better myself in that regards. I wanted to always read more books. I always wanted to watch more YouTube videos on personal development and just how I can be a better version of myself. And a lot of those videos are just motivational videos that just trying to get you in the right mindset, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what ends up happening is that I keep getting hit with this dopamine every time I read or I finish a book. And once I finish that book, I get that sense of satisfaction that I better myself. And then I just want to go and get a new book and read some more on personal development and bettering myself. And then it also goes into YouTube videos every time I watch one. And at a certain point, I realize that all this information that I'm learning so much every single day. I'm not actually applying it or taking action towards everything that I'm actually learning. So I'm reading this book, but what am I doing about that? I'm not really doing much about that. I'm just kind of moving on to the next one, filling up my bookshelf, making it look like I'm getting better. But at the same time, I'm not really taking action to better myself in the ways that I actually want to better myself. The issue with the personal development industry is that it's highly addictive, and you're constantly getting hits of dopamine, and you just kind of look for that next one and next one and next one. And at the end of the day, you got to try and find that dopamine hit in other places. And I think that other place comes from actually you putting into place all the information and everything that you're learning and actually taking action, going out there and trying to do what you want to do instead of just finding that next dopamine hit, whether it's reading a book, listening to a book, going to the gym, unless going to the gym is getting you to where you want to go. But I think that this is something that I lacked in the past, where it was just constantly wanting to learn and didn't really go past that, where it was just a cycle of constantly learning and I was never taking action. So what I ended up telling myself is, I've learned all this stuff over X amount of years. Now I'm actually going to put it into place and see exactly what I've learned. And not only that, I'm going to learn even more along the way when I'm putting everything into action. So it's also ironic that I am making this video, because I have seen other videos similar to this that talk about the personal development industry and all the hits of dopamine and getting addicted to it and how it can be bad for you. And what I've said to that is, yeah, sure, it is bad and it does have its downsides, but there are a lot of good upsides to it. Like, you're reading, you may be skipping going out to parties or drinking, and you're maybe working out, you're trying to better yourself every day. But at the same time, you could also be addicted to something a lot worse than personal development. There's just a lot worse situations that you could be in instead of the personal development industry. So although the personal development industry does have its downfalls to where we're constantly wanting to learn, find that next hit of dopamine, at the end of the day, you got to take everything that you've learned and put it into action, see exactly what you have learned. And not only that, you are going to be able to learn along the way when you're actually putting everything into action, whether it's start your business, start a YouTube channel, maybe you want to start a blog, start a website, whatever it may be, I think at the end of the day, you just got to go out there and start taking action. It's not just going to show up at your doorsteps and be like, here's what you always wanted. You actually have to go out there, put everything that you've learned in the past into action, and go out there and try and achieve it. Like I said, the personal development industry does have its some downfalls, but at the same time, it does have a lot of good upsides to it. So there's nothing wrong with constantly wanting to better yourself. But at the end of the day, I think you got to go out there and actually take some action on what you actually want to do. So go out there, take some action, and thanks for watching, and let's level up.